More from Albany City Hall.
Mark, Elisa, 8 officers in all were promoted here this morning at City Hall, including Clifford Young, officer, now sergeant. And his sons say they're just happy to be spending a little more time with Dad now. Albany City Hall's rotunda was packed this morning as a ceremony recognizing the hard work and dedication of some of Albany's finest was held. Assistant Chief Brandon Kotz became Deputy Chief. Detective Sergeant Michael Hicks and Sergeant Eric Cotter became commanders. And 6 men, detectives and officers, all became sergeants. Officer Clifford Young was one of them, much to his mother Henrietta's delight.
And I'm just excited and thrilled today. Cliff has always been a caring son, and he's just a general good person.
None of this would have been without my mother and without my father raising me and, instilling responsibility and determination in me to just try my best to succeed.
Young's wife Pamela says it's been a long road of worry, but it's been well worth it.
He's wanted to be sergeant for a long time, and I know this means a lot to him and therefore a lot to us as well. We're extremely proud of him.
And Young's 2 sons say Dad was a very busy officer. Having him as a sergeant now means he'll have a bit more time at home.
We have time to do more stuff since he's sergeant, and that I'm really proud of him.
We could do some of the stuff that we weren't able to do before.
Yeah, it'll be home during the day a lot more.
Sergeant Young couldn't be more proud of his achievement, and he's ready to make a difference at the Albany Police Department.
It means responsibility. It means finally being able to have some say in how things are going to work in my squad. It's a job that's been so exciting and so fun over the years. Every day something different, and my 19 and a half years have flown by.
And many, many more years to come on the force, I'm sure. Now, a little side note here. Mayor Jerry Jennings was also on hand at today's ceremony. The police ceremony today, his very last police ceremony as mayor. In Albany, January Keaton, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, January. They really are Albany's January.
Mark, Elisa, Dr. Jeffrey Flynn is that doctor you talked about. He's from Glens Falls Hospital, one of several prosecution witnesses who took the stand today. He testified that little Jesse Smith was already in a full-blown coma when he was brought into the emergency room that February 2012 day. His brain was bleeding and one of his pupils were dilated, and those are all signs that the little boy was dying. When 15-month-old Jesse Smith was rushed to the hospital February 13, 2012, he was no longer breathing on his own. He had a skull fracture and a swollen, bloody brain, described by Dr. Flynn today in court as a catastrophic head injury, a dilated left pupil, one of the final signs that a patient is about to die. You're looking at still photos captured of today's proceedings as District Attorney Kate Hogan and Waite's defense attorney Mark Zuckerman questioned Dr. Flynn. Flynn today told the court Jesse's father, Gary Waite, told him the toddler fell from a sofa. Then, when Waite propped him in a chair to watch TV, he fell again, and then again just before being rushed to the hospital. In a blow to the defense, Dr. Flynn argued that Jesse would have likely become unconscious immediately after suffering such a severe brain injury, making him incapable of doing much of anything, including sitting up to watch TV. Now, back here live at the Warren County Courthouse, Dr. Flynn also testified that he has seen several children with brain injuries. One had an elevator fall on its head, and the other child had a 300-pound tombstone crush its skull. Neither one of those children's injuries were as severe as Jesse's. He said Jesse had absolutely no chance of survival. Gary Waite, meantime, Jesse's father, is charged with murder and manslaughter, both in the second degree. The 29-year-old faces 25 years to life in prison if he's convicted. Live in Warren County, January Keaton, News 10 ABC.
Thank you, January. In Albany, and News 10 ABC's January Keaton is live in the area of Elm Street and Delaware Avenue where it happened. January, police are so far not calling the damage gang-related, are they?
That's exactly right, Mark. They're not going that far just yet, but they are calling it a Halloween trick that was no treat for motorists here along Elm Street between Dove and Swan Avenues in Albany. Windows bashed in, tires slashed, and spray paint sprayed along white and gray cars with a common number, the number 30.
Several reports of vandalized vehicles.
Police in Albany don't know whether the spray painting of 15 cars on and around Elm Street and Dove and Delaware Avenues was the work of one or many.
Several on the midnight shift and about 7 this morning. So it appears that overnight, either someone or a group of people vandalized several cars in the Center Square neighborhoods.
Steve Smith of the Albany Police Department says the vandalism calls were coming in droves last night and today from people just discovering the damage to their cars.
I took my dog for a walk and I noticed all the other cars on the street. All the white cars and all the silver cars that had 30 rack on them. 30 rack and 30 pack and 30 crew, and then put my dog back in the house and then walked out here and I had it on all the way around my truck.
Those vehicles had their windows smashed out, several had slashed tires, and there was even graffiti.
But is it all gang related? Some of the scrawlings read 30 rack on several cars. A rack meaning $1,000 in street terminology, possibly the name or motto of a local neighborhood street gang. Smith, though, stopped short of calling the vandalism gang-related.
I don't have any knowledge of that right now. It's just an ongoing investigation. Certainly we want to find the person who's responsible. And again, if anybody heard anything last night, saw anything last night, certainly give us a call.
Now, so far, Albany police say they have no suspects, and it happened so late or early that they have no witnesses to the vandalism. Right now, they're asking anyone who may know anything about the vandalism or spray painting of these cars along Elm Street between Dove and Swan and all the way down as far as Delaware to please give Albany police a call. Now, coming up at 6, we're going to hear some more from other victims of the vandalism who say this block is normally pretty quiet and they don't know who would want to damage their cars or why. Live in Albany, January Keaton, News 10 ABC.
All right, thank you, January.
Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm January Keaton. Sheriff's deputies arrested the Watervliet man early this morning. They say he threatened the couple through text messages and talked about showing up where they work as TSA agents at Albany International Airport. And with that deadly attack out in Los Angeles fresh in mind, local police say they were ready to respond to this incident. News 10 ABC's Lindsay Nielsen is live at the airport with the story. Lindsay.
Well, January, Sheriff Craig after this recent incident and, of course, the recent shootings at LAX. Live in Colony, Lindsay Nielsen for News 10 ABC.
Thank you so much tonight, Lindsay. And meanwhile, in California, the suspect in the LAX shootings remains a man of mystery tonight. Law enforcement trying to figure out just what set him on his rampage Friday, where he killed a TSA officer and wounded 4 others. Alex Stone reports from Los Angeles.
23-year-old in honor of the fallen TSA officer. Alex Stone, ABC News, Los Angeles.
Well, it didn't take long for Rensselaer County deputies to make an armed robbery arrest in the town of Hoosick early Friday. The sheriff's office accuses this man, 35-year-old Brian Galvagni, of holding up a Subway restaurant on 4744 Route 7. That's inside the Sunoco station. According to deputies, shortly after taking the report, they were able to find a car and driver that matched the description of the suspect. That suspect, they say, who is Galvagni, who's also from Hoosick. He's now charged with second-degree robbery. Parents still have many questions about the new Common Core teaching standards, and a special event tomorrow night in Johnstown is hoping to answer those concerns. Hamilton, Fulton, Montgomery is the group organizing the Common Core Fair. The organization says teachers, principals, and superintendents from area districts will be there to talk about what the standards mean for the classroom and how parents can help their children succeed. The fair begins at 6:30 tomorrow night inside the HFM BOSIS Conference Center on State Highway 67 in Johnstown. And for more information on Common Core and other education issues, just go to our website, news10.com, and look for the News 10 in the Classroom link on our homepage. Well, it's just downright cold out there tonight, and some places in our area are even seeing some snow. No! For more, let's get a storm tracker update from News 10 meteorologist Andy Gregorio. Hey there, Andy.
All righty, January. Well, at least the snow is done for now, but not the cold. Matter of fact, we're down in the lower 30s. January.
Well, if you didn't turn your clocks back, you're early for everything by an hour. Thanks, Andy. Well, it's almost the holiday season. I can't believe it, and that's why several local groups teamed up today for a good cause. The 15th annual Toys for Tots Drive in Brunswick, and that brought out hundreds of riders determined to make a difference. News 10 ABC's Marty Casper has their story.
With Halloween now behind us, reporting in Brunswick, I'm Marty Casper for News 10.
And still to come, Mitt Romney attacking President Obama over the Affordable Care Act this morning. Up next, why the former Massachusetts governor says the president should have paid closer attention to how the Bay State handles health care before unrolling the program last month. Stay with us.
ABC at 6.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm January Keaton. Former Massachusetts Governor Mitt Romney says when it comes to the Affordable Care Act, President Obama was dishonest with Americans. Speaking today, Romney said Obama wasn't truthful when saying all Americans could keep their health insurance under the new law, as more than 3 million have been dropped by their providers. Romney also said the president should have phased in the ACA, much like Massachusetts did during its health care overhaul when Romney was governor back in 2006. Current Governor Deval Patrick said in response the president was not dishonest and that the promise was true for 95% of the country. Now let's check back in with News 10 ABC meteorologist Andy Gregorio for a preview of what's ahead in the forecast. Andy.
Brr, that's the word I could use for the Saturday of the end of the week. Looking at temperatures for daytime highs in the low and mid 40s.
Definitely Burr was right when you said that.
Oh, yeah, especially tonight and tomorrow. The coldest weather of the year so far.
Goodness. All right. Thank you, Andy.
Okay.
But by the way, guys, tonight's your last chance to enter to win the ski trip of a lifetime. All you have to do is like us on Facebook for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Jackson Hole in Wyoming. The trip includes round-trip airfare, 7 nights lodging, 5 days skiing at the Jackson Hole Mountain Resort. You can enter once a day until the winner is chosen November 4th. Now let's check in with News 10 ABC's Josh Sims for a preview of what's ahead in sports. Hey, Josh.
Hey, I want to congratulate Hoosick Falls, Shen, and Burnt Hills field hockey for winning sectional titles today. But I don't know if you know, but our Michael Johnson was actually there competing. And that foosball.
Michael Johnson is one of our photographers.
Right.
He plays foosball that well?
Plays foosball.
Wow.
Yeah.
You never know what people's talents are.
I don't play foosball. I'm not good at all.
I don't either.
I think Andy does, though.
I think I almost flipped a table once doing that. All right, everybody, thank you. Thank you, Josh. We'll be right back with one last look at the forecast. Stay with us.
I grew up right here in Troy.
Taking a look at what's coming up tonight at 10 over on Fox 23. Alleged threats against the local TSA officer land a Waterville man in jail. We'll tell you how the Albany County Sheriff's Department is stepping up its security at the airport just days after the LAX shooting. And if you're going outside, take a coat.
That's right. It's cold. And I just want to clear something up. I don't play foosball. I always hurt my hand playing it. All right, here we go. 43 tomorrow's high after a cold start. Many locations tonight down near 20 in the teens. A little bit of a midweek warm-up. Wednesday and Thursday in the 50s will be. Late night showers Wednesday and Thursday, and back to the chilly stuff to close out the week.
All right. Thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you right back here tonight at 10 and 11. Have a great evening. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm January Keaton. It'll be days before the full extent of the damage is known, but Filipino officials fear as many as 10,000 were killed Friday, and that's just in one city. The storm that brought Typhoon Haiyan knocking out most forms of communication, adding more concern for people with loved ones in the area struck. But several services have been set up online to help people track the status of family and friends. If you're looking to find someone, we have links to their services on news10.com. And if the person you're trying to find is a U.S. citizen, you can call the Office of Overseas Citizens at 1-888-407-4747. The office warns the number may be busy, so you might have to keep trying. And coming up tonight on News 10 ABC at 10 and 11, we'll bring you the story of a Warren County woman trying to reach her father who was in one of the cities first hit by that storm. But here at this hour, help is on the way to the Philippines as recovery efforts start. Chuck Severson continues our coverage.
Wind, water, and just beginning. Chuck Severson, ABC News, New York.
And local people are part of the relief efforts as well. The Phil-Am Club in Schenectady tells News 10 ABC one of its members has flown out to the Philippines to bring donations to her hometown there. The club, which helps support local Filipinos and their families, is asking for donations to ship over by next Friday the 15th. And you can find info on how to help them out on news10.com. Happening today, Colony police looking for clues after a shooting at a popular gentleman's club. According to officers, gunfire rang out in the parking lot of Shenanigans just after 1 this morning. In the end, they say an employee of the club was shot in the leg. He was taken to Albany Med, but he's expected to be okay. In the meantime, police want to find out more about any possible fights that led up to that shooting, and they're asking to hear from anyone who was there. Well, not even 2 hours after that incident, police in Albany say a man was stabbed in their city near 2nd Avenue and Grandview Terrace. The investigation still in its early stages, so there's little information available. But officers do say the victim's injuries are not considered life-threatening. And Massachusetts State Police still have a lot of questions they're hoping to answer in the hit and run that seriously injured a local woman walking along the Mass Pike. It happened around 11 Friday night in Blandford, just outside of Otis. Troopers say the woman, who's from Pittsfield, was wearing dark clothing at the time, and they believe she had been hitchhiking after getting out of another car. She's now at Bay State Medical Center, where her current condition is unknown. Reports of a suspicious bag at Schenectady's Stockade-a-thon 15K run this morning had the state bomb squad responding there. Luckily, it turned out not to be a threat. You're looking at photos of the response that was taken by Ed Kostick. According to Schenectady police, people reported the bag to authorities around 9:30, about a half hour after the start of the race. It didn't take authorities long to determine it was just a misplaced bag. Happening today, officials wishing a happy birthday to the United States Marine Corps. The branch began on this day way back in 1775. Today, Governor Cuomo extended his thanks to the more than 10,000 New Yorkers who serve in the Corps. And Governor Cuomo also signing new legislation today in memory of a local fallen soldier. Lieutenant Colonel Todd Clark Memorial Flag Presentation Program will provide flags flown at half staff over the state capitol to families of service members killed in action. Lieutenant Colonel Clark was a Guilderland native who was killed in Afghanistan over the summer. In the weeks following his death, his family worked with state officials to create such a program for families. And of course, tomorrow marks Veterans Day, where the nation offers its thanks to all who have served, both past and present. Rensselaer County getting a head start this morning with its annual breakfast for local veterans. And as News 10 ABC's Jennifer Lee shows us, it ended with several getting long-awaited awards for their service.
Just in time for Veterans Day, 9 local distinguished veterans will be receiving military honors that they never got.
Throughout the year, we will have veterans or their family members come in and look to apply for the medals that they were awarded but never received.
Rensselaer County Executive Kathleen Gimeno says in recent years, local medal ceremonies have been put on by her office. They realize the number of military personnel returning from active duty, especially during World War II and the Korean and Vietnam War, never formally received the honor and recognition they earned through their service.
Especially during World War II, when everybody got out at the same time. Though our veterans had been awarded, had earned the medals, they never received them because they were told you could stay in another month if you'd like to wait for your medals, or you can go home. So most of them went home, of course.
But today, those veterans did receive more information on our website, news10.com. In Brunswick, I'm Jennifer Lee for News 10 ABC.
Just a great ceremony there. All right, well, let's get a storm tracker update now from News 10 meteorologist Andrew Gregorio. Not a bad day today here in Albany, but is it going to stick around, the sunshine?
Not really, January. We have more clouds in the forecast for tomorrow for Veterans Day. Some gusty winds this evening through tonight and into tomorrow as well. Let's see what's going on right now as we take a look at the current conditions here in Albany at the International Airport. Temperature remains pretty much on the pleasant side, 47 degrees. Winds varying, generally out of the west. Speeds now around 11 miles per hour. At times, they do get up to near 20 with some higher gusts. We had some gusts up near 30 during the day. And on the HD radar, we do have a few showers, parts of the area. And yeah, you see some of that white and pink up over the northern Mohawk Valley and southern Adirondacks. That is some snow. Did wind up with a couple of inches, places like around Pasico and back towards Old Forge from some lake-enhanced snowfall. Basically, what we are looking at right now is temperatures in the middle 40s from west to east, 39 at Grafton and 43 down at Voorheesville. And for tonight around the region, we're looking at mostly cloudy skies, a few sprinkles or flurries around this evening, some snow showers up in the Adirondacks. But by morning, things should be drying out. Looking at temperatures close to the freezing mark in the Hudson Valley, up to the north, lower and mid-20s over the Adirondacks, mid-20s, Glens Falls and Salem. And as we work our way through the Mohawk Valley and Catskills, overnight temperatures around 31 degrees, give or take a couple of degrees. And likewise, similar readings across the Taconics and western New England by tomorrow morning with mostly cloudy skies expected. January?
All right, thank you, Andy. Up next on News 10 ABC, it's a law in New York City with its fair share of controversy. In just a couple minutes, how the city is working to keep stop and frisk alive. And throughout the show, News 10 ABC will continue to honor those locally who have served our country. You're watching News 10 ABC, and we're right back after this.
You're watching January Keaton. Meteorologist News 10 ABC at 6.
Welcome back, everybody. I'm January Keaton. Well, a night of hard partying descended into mayhem in Texas overnight, where 2 people were shot dead and more than 20 were hurt. Police say as many as 100 young people were crammed in and around a house in a Houston suburb for a girl's 18th birthday party when 2 gunmen opened fire. A massive emergency response with several helicopters was called to the scene.
I saw a stretcher come this way, and it looked like a female, maybe between the age of 15 and 16. They were carrying her, and she did not look good.
Now, police say 2 gunmen were involved. Both got away before police arrived. New York City now continuing to fight to keep its controversial stop and frisk program alive. City lawmakers filed documents this week to vacate orders issued by a judge over the summer. That judge said the law violated constitutional rights. She was then removed from the case over allegations of bias. The law allows police to search anyone they feel is suspicious. Now let's check back in with meteorologist Andy Gregorio for a preview of what's ahead in the forecast. Andy.
Alrighty, January's favorite temperature range, 50 or better by next week.
January's favorite temperature range is in the 80s, but I'll take what
for November we'll have to take 50s.
Exactly. Thank you, Andy.
Okay.
Now let's check in with News 10 ABC's Josh Sims for a preview of what's ahead in sports. Josh.
Well, the Albany women's basketball team, if you missed it on Fox January, you could see it on ABC, but I know a lot of people go to sleep early. Don't want to keep them up too late, so watch it on Fox.
But you've been super busy with sports lately.
I have.
I mean,
but it's all for the people, right?
And just so you know, we did not plan this red.
We did not.
We didn't.
It does look good,
Just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. I agree. All right.
Good-looking people up here, you know?
We'll be right back, everybody. Stay with us.
While others...
Taking a look at some of the stories we've got coming up for you at 10 over on Fox 23. More than 10,000 people feared dead and millions displaced in the Philippines due to a typhoon called Haiyan. We'll hear from Capital Region families worried about loved ones caught in the storm's wreckage. And trouble for a Washington County family as they attempt to sail to the other side of the country. Why the Coast Guard was called in to come to their aid in Virginia. Plus, honoring veterans. We'll show you how local veterans are being thanked for their service and sacrifice tonight at 10. All right, well, of course, you guys have been outside. It was nice and sunny today, but still a little chill in the air.
Yeah, a little chill in the air, some gusty winds, and we're going to be looking at even chillier air coming in during tomorrow. Now, tomorrow, during the daytime, skies will start to cloud up. There'll be some afternoon rain showers, 47. Wind and cold tomorrow night, 29. Look at Tuesday and Wednesday, mid-30s by day, low to mid-20s at night. Lots of wind, and then we'll start to moderate by the end of the week.
30s are the high, so dig out those winter coats, right? All right, thank you guys for joining us. We'll see you right back.